Hey, Ruth.
Okay,
Good
we're
to see
live.
you.
Okay, so I think I misarranged my screen and then I'm not seeing my face, so I
Don't worry, I can see your face, so I would always
Okay, great, great. You're going to be my guide in case
I'll
I
be
just
letting you know what's going on.
Yeah, sure. So welcome back everybody. I think Happy New Year, Happy 2023. Um we've missed everyone. I think when was our last Martin? When was our last live stream?
It was probably October.
Wow,
October
that's
or
such
so.
a long time.
Yeah, it's been a
Yeah,
while.
it's been a while. I think it was before Universe, right?
Uh-huh.
Didn't get to do anyone for December, and we finally are doing one for like February. So we're excited to have you back. Welcome back. Please let us know where you're joining from on the chat. What country, what state, where are you joining us from today? Just let us know in the chat, and we'd definitely love to know. So I think we can get started while I try to I was trying to move my slides. But Martin, do you want to introduce yourself? I think this your I'm really interested in being are you still a crypto enthusiast with all that's happening?
Definitely, yeah, it's definitely weird. I need to edit that slide. I'm no longer a crypto enthusiast.
I know, right?
But I am I'm a senior mid-market account executive at GitHub. I like to. I've actually started blogging now, Ruth.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
I'll be sending you all my articles so you can share with
Sure.
all your followers.
Yeah.
But I am
What have you been
also
writing about?
so I write about investments. I write about personal finance. I'm also going to be writing about like I know a lot of Africans are migrating to Europe, UK
Mhm.
right now. So I'm going to be writing about immigration and
Oh, that's cool.
tips for new immigrants and stuff. So a whole bunch of stuff.
Cool. I'm interested in investing ones because I want to make a lot of money. But
Yeah, I'll be your guide. I'll be your guide.
thank you. Yeah, please send the articles my way, and definitely I'd love to share them with my network as well. So about me, if you're just joining us for the first time, my name is Ruth Keka, and I'm a GitHub star, and there's a change in my profile if you can
Hmm.
see that. Okay, so I recently joined Betaja as an open source consultant. So and that's my Twitter. I'm very active on Twitter at Ruth. So you can catch me on Twitter tweeting about open source mainly. So yeah, so definitely if you love to talk about open source, definitely give me drop me a message and I'll definitely respond. So yeah, let's go into our agenda for the day. Today we have GitHub news, of course, and we have quite a lot for you. We've missed about 3 months, so yeah, we have news with Martins and Ruth, and we have a special speaker today, and a really very special topic. It's a special topic because it's my favorite open source project. So watch out for it. I'm not going to say it yet. But we have Oma Anosike. She's our speaker for today, and would at the end of Oma's session, we'll also do like a networking live on the platform. And yeah, that's all we have for you today. Sit back, share the live stream on your social media, and definitely will love other people to join and get to hear about my favorite open source project. So please do share. Yeah. So let's get started with the news. Martins, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, sure, I can kick us off. So I want to talk to us a little bit about Copilot. I know we've heard about Copilot since 2021. We've recently made a lot of improvements as of yesterday. No, actually, as of on the 14th on Valentine's Day, we announced
Right.
a few more. Why you guys were all doing lovey dovey all around the world. We
I
are
know
at
you
work.
I know
Yeah.
you're about to say that.
Yeah, but Copilot now can. So currently, we have over 400 organizations using Copilot. Lots of open source organizations using GitHub Copilot today. Obviously, it's free
Mhm.
for those organizations. And GitHub also announced on the 14th that Copilot now has and automatically filters out vulnerabilities. So if you have Copilot giving you suggestions, you can be sure that that specific suggestion does not have well-known vulnerabilities. Think about SQL injections and things like that. So it's getting more powerful by the day. Copilot is obviously not going to replace anyone. It's going to help you to be more productive. As you can see from the numbers, developers that are using Copilot are coding 55% faster. So it's a really powerful tool for you to be more productive, whatever you are doing, right? And we are seeing that over 46% of the code that developers are writing, those that are using Copilots have been written by GitHub Copilot. So next slide, please. Just a few more numbers. Okay, yeah. So the last piece of the news is secret scanning. So secret scanning can now, customers that are using GitHub Advanced Security also have access to GitHub secret scanning. So you can now define custom secrets that, let's say you have some specific secrets at your organization that you want GitHub to find. Even for your open source work, you can now define those custom patterns, and GitHub Advanced Security engine will be able to find those secrets. So if you are an administrator for your organization, you can now do a dry run of just testings out for up to like 10 repositories before you have it for all your repositories in your organization. So those are like the few tips that we have. I would see if we can share some links in the chat so you guys can take a look at this. So over to you, Ruth.
Yeah, sure. I was just I was just messing with the slides. I was going too far. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever come across like the GitHub README project. It started in back in 2020, and this project is, sharing stories of developers, around the world that are doing awesome things, highlighting those stories. And we're highlighting Samson Godi today. Samson is the co-founder of Open Source Community Africa, and with this awesome quote. I think Samson was the first GitHub README highlights when they launched, so you should definitely check it out. And you can also nominate African developers that you want to hear about their stories. You can scan this code that can scan it, and then also nominate people who definitely want to hear or see stories. I usually read the GitHub README stories, and even the podcast. There's also the podcast where I just sometimes during my free time I just listen to these stories and hear inspire help people, like inspire others, and share the stories on my social media. So definitely, if you know anyone you want to see their story, definitely would love you to nominate them. And yeah, that's about GitHub README. And the last piece of the news is GitHub Actions is now available on mobile. If you do not know, first, like there's the GitHub mobile. So GitHub Actions has consistently been one of the most requested features on the mobile platform. So it's here, and you can check it out and do a couple of things with it. So definitely do check out GitHub Actions on mobile. You can view workflow runs and also manage your pull request on the fly. So definitely do check that out. I think there was one other news I wanted to highlight, GitHub Campus Experts, but I think I did not get to add it to the slide. I think the applications for, maybe if Andrea can put it in the chat, the application for GitHub Campus Experts is open. So if you're in university, you can just apply to become a GitHub Campus Expert. So maybe Andrea will help us put that in the chat since that's not on the slide. So let's go into our, topic for the day and the session for today. And we have a special guest, Oma Anosike, and the topic for today, like I said, is my favorite open source project, the CHAOSS project. So Oma is a front end developer, and she'll be taking us. She's one of the active contributors at the CHAOSS project, and Ohoma will be taking us through getting started, what the CHAOSS project is about, how you can contribute, how you can participate as a designer, developer, or whatever field you're in. So I'll hand it over to Oma to kind of like get us started with my favorite. I've been contributing to CHAOSS since for 3 years now, so I'll definitely advise people to listen and check out our awesome project, our favorite open source project. So yeah, I'll hand it over to Oma.
Hi, Ruth. Nice.
Hi.
Hey, Oma.
I'm excited to be here. Hi, Martin.
Thanks for joining
Is my
us.
slide still up?
No, your slide is not up.
No, it's not.
Okay, so I can go away.
So I'm so excited to be doing this, talking about the Chaos project. It's one of my favorite projects. It's not one, it's my favorite open source project. And I'm so excited to be talking about it here. I hope you guys can hear me clearly.
Yeah, you're clear.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. So I'm going to talk about getting started with the Chaos project, how you can contribute, and what we do in Chaos. Chaos is okay. CHAOSS is an acronym for Community Health Analytics in Open Source Software. The CHAOSS project was first announced at the Open Source Summit North America in August 2017, and it was started as a result to help people who want to understand more about the health of the open source community they engage with. Um, an unhealthy open source engaging with an unhealthy open source community can really affect the organization engaging with it, or the contributors that are contributing to that open source project. So how do we know a healthy open source project, and how do we make an unhealthy open source project healthier? So this is where CHAOSS project comes in. CHAOSS, as I said previously, started in 2017. It is a Linux Foundation project, and it is focused on creating metrics models, and softwares to understand and measure the health of open source community or projects on a global scale. Um, it's very important for any open source project to have a community behind it. A strong open source community, a project that has a strong open source community behind it tends to do more better on a global scale than an open source project without a community behind it. So measuring the health of an open source project is really, really important to the particular open source project, or to the people that are going to invest in this open source project, that are going to engage with it. So the chaos project was started to answer these questions. We create metrics and metric models to answer the questions that are related to measuring community health on a global scale. Like I said, we create metrics. What are chaos metrics? Chaos metrics are data points that can be measured on an individual basis. They are meant to answer one basic questions about community health and the health of an open source community at a time. A metric answers just one question at a time. It tackles one problem of community health at a time. It tends to answer that question and solve that particular problem. In the chaos community, we have over 70 plus matrices, and we know that these are not all the matrices that is used to measure community health. So we are creating more matrices as time goes by to enable us measure community health on more better. So some of these matrices that we have in the chaos communities are the type of contribution metrics, the contributor location metric, the documentation usability metric, the project burnt out metric. And these metrics are identified using the continuous contribution process. And this is because we do not want to waste time when releasing a particular metric. So we do short round of feedbacks to release the matrices sooner. So as I also said, the chaos community creates metrics metrics models and software. What are metrics models? Metrics model are a collection of matrices that are brought together to provide deeper context and answer more complex questions about community health. So a metrics model is a combination of different matrices to answer more complex questions about community health. Currently in the CHAOSS project, we have 8 metrics models, and one of these metrics model is community activity. Inside community activity, we have the contributor metric, the code change commit metric, and the issue closed metric. These three matrices makes up the matrices makes up the community activity metric model. So this metric model is what answers a complex question about community activity. To my next slide, the aim of the CHAOSS project. The CHAOSS project was established and the CHAOSS project establishes matrices and models for measuring open source community health, develop programs for the deployment of matrices not attainable through trace data, and work with industry partners to shape how we understand open source community health. Also, the CHAOSS community is aimed at producing open source software and initiatives for measuring community health. In talking about the aim of the open source project, you would notice I always talk about community health, and that is one of our core values in the open source project, in the CHAOSS project. One of our core values is community health. Another one is openness, transparency, diversity, inclusion and belonging, consistency, merit and trust and utility. So these are our core values. Every software we create, every metric we bring out is to be centered around these core values to make it more inclusive for our users to use and to make it for a better understanding. Also, in the CHAOSS community, we have 2 chapters currently, which is the Asia Pacific chapter and the CHAOSS Africa chapter. These chapters were created to create a more inclusive environment and a more comfortable environment for these 2 groups of people contributing to the CHAOSS community. The CHAOSS Africa chapter started in June 2022 as a result of a large number of people contributing to the CHAOSS community then was from the African region. So the CHAOSS project thought about creating a community for these people to interact with themselves and to give better contributions to the CHAOSS project. So the CHAOSS Africa chapter was born. The CHAOSS Africa chapter consists of 200 plus community members. We have 5 focus groups, and these focus groups include the design focus group, the technical writers focus group, the developers focus group, the community managers focus group, and the research focus group. You can contribute to any of these particular focus groups, and we made it so that you, when coming into the CHAOSS community, CHAOSS Africa community, if you're coming in as a designer, you know that okay, when you join the design focus group, this group is centered on design. Then it makes contribution easier for whosoever wants to contribute. So that's why we created these focus groups. And since the inception of the CHAOSS Africa community, we've had 6 Twitter spaces, which has hosted over 1,000 plus listeners. We have over 900 Twitter followers. We've coordinated 1 collaborative sprint, and currently now we are working on some projects, and one of those projects includes creating a website for the badging initiative. The badging initiative is an initiative of the CHAOSS project, and the CHAOSS Africa chapter is in charge of creating a website for this particular initiative to make it easier for people that want to get their events and their projects badged by the CHAOSS community. So, like I said, the DEI badging initiative is a program that aims to increase understanding of open source projects and event practices that encourage greater diversity and wider inclusion of people from different backgrounds. The badging initiative of the is one of the programs I contribute to in the CHAOSS community. It's a place where we give is that an award system whereby badges are given to events based on certain criteria of inclusion and diversity that they enforce in their open source events. And this badging initiative was started in 2020, and since then, there have been a lot of improvements done to it, and it has been an exciting ride contributing to it so far. Also, in the CHAOSS community, we have different software that was created by the CHAOSS project, and one of these software is the Agor software. Agor is a for collecting and measuring structured data about free and open source software for FOSS communities. So Agor is simply like a tool set for collecting data and measuring this structured data for open source software. So the next software we have in the CHAOSS community is the Grimo Lab. Grimo Lab has a coordinated set of tools that receive data from the systems used to support software development, store it in a database, and enrich it by computing relevant metrics that makes it easy to run analytics and visualization of. The Grimo Lab software uses the CHAOSS metrics to do this data retrieval and this um, data retrieval system. Also, in the CHAOSS community, we have various working groups that you can contribute to as as an open source contributor coming to the CHAOSS community. And these working groups are the communication working group, the app ecosystem working group, the evolution working group, the OSPO working group, which was previously known as the value working group, the common metric working group, the risk and the metric model working group. All these working groups have different metrics functioning inside of it. So these working groups are in charge of different metrics. Also, the different softwares have their own working groups where you can contribute to also. So that's one thing I love about the CHAOSS community. In the CHAOSS community, you can make code contribution or non-code contribution, depends on where you fall into and where you feel most comfortable making contributions to. As a developer, you can make contributions to our software. As a documentation specialist, you can make contributions to our documentation. Or if you are just an open source enthusiast, making contributions to one of our working group, which is the DI badging working group, as an event badger, a badge reviewer. So this badging works with a peer-to-peer review system. So you can just review the events that register for a badge and give them a badge according to what they have filled. This doesn't need any technical skill to be executed. You can execute this as a no code person. And to contribute to the CHAOSS project, simply you have to join our Slack community or our Discourse community. Then you can join our weekly community calls or our monthly onboarding calls. Also, you can check our CHAOSS website for more information, which is chaos.community. Also, you can look through our GitHub repo, which is github.com/chaos, to know more about the projects that we are working on. And also, if you are interested in contributing to the badging process and you want to know more about it, you should check out the badging GitHub repo, which is github.com/badging. Also, you can interact with the CHAOSS project on on our different social media handles, which is our Twitter handle, CHAOSS project, twitter.com/CHAOSS project, or or you can interact with CHAOSS Africa, which is twitter.com/CHAOSS Africa, and you can chat us up on LinkedIn, and you can go to our YouTube page to watch our previous events that have been held by the CHAOSS project. So thank you so much for listening in, and that's all I have to say on the CHAOSS project. I hope you guys have questions and I'm ready to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Omar. Thank you. Are you are you hot? You're
Yes,
funny.
I am.
Sorry.
Sorry, Oma.
We're still live, by the way.
Oh,
Just one comment. Okay, thank you very much, Omar, for talking about the Chaos Project. Please, if you have questions for Omar, please drop it in the chat. So definitely love to ask Omar questions about the Chaos Project. And just adding to what Omar has shared, I'm also like one of the active participants or contributors or even like a maintainer at the Chaos Project. And it's really something I really like about how what makes it my favorite project per se is because like there are different channels of contribution, right?
Mm-hmm.
Almost everybody can get involved. It talks about so we attend mainly to open source community health where we get you create metrics and software to help other open source communities analyze the state of their communities health. And like Oma has said, shared like the different working groups, and these working groups attend to different areas in open source, like say for example rigs value risks of like risks in regards to compliance, legal compliance, software. There's also open source program office, the open source program office working group for people that are working in open source program offices that want to get metrics on how valuable or how they can impact on the communities that they depend on. There's also like if you're somebody that is enthusiastic about diversity, equity, and inclusion, there's also like a working group that will create metrics there. So like there are so many ways different people can get involved, both as a developer, both as a designer, data scientist, because we also have like softwares like Augur and Grimoire Lab that help you see details into open source software and projects. So there are a whole lot of things, technical writing, a whole lot of people can um, contribute. So that's one thing. And so far I've been there for 3 years, and it has even grown even to having like all my shared local chapters like the African chapter and then the Asia Pacific chapter. So I think we have questions now, and there are a lot of comments. Thank you for the session. Maybe Andrea can pin the comments. Somebody said you served us hot, so thank you. So I think the first question. So Clifford is asking. You shared about technical writing working group at Chaos. Could you share more about that?
Okay. The Curious Africa chapter has a technical writing working group whereby we tend to write about um, we tend to write about the different things that can help us improve in the chaos community, and also we tend to write about do content creations for our Twitter and our social media pages. So the technical writing working group is centered for just technical writers that want to contribute to the chaos community and are looking for a channel to contribute to. You can join the technical writers working group and function from there. We also have a list of projects that you can work on in the technical writers working group in the chaos community, in the chaos Africa community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like just adding to what Omar said, like we do have list of topic ideas, and usually for technical writers, when you join a community, you want to look at the software that the community has, or the and then maybe write about how to install. There are different ideas, there are different things that you can write about as a technical writer, how to install the software, technical aspect on how to use the project, maybe looking at the documentation, because documentation is something that it keeps improving in open source community. So looking at documentation, we have like even the community handbook, a lot of areas where you can get involved, and sometimes you might not see those issues open and available, but you can recommend, and that's why like it's an open source project, right? You can recommend, open an issue on GitHub, try to fix something. We've had people come into Chaos and create up initiatives, open up issues on GitHub, point out things in the documentation that were not really clear enough, and then they kind of like fix it. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Um,
Omar, I have a question for like very new people that are starting and they're just learning how to code. What's like the most common working group you see those very early stage developers like? contributor in the chaos project?
So currently in the chaos project, when I joined newly, and what I noticed that people that join newly to the chaos community, they usually contribute to the agro project, which is
Okay.
built on the Python programming language. So there is issues for everyone, for both newcomers coming in and experts in the agro project, and that is one of the places I see newcomers functioning in the chaos
Okay.
community.
All right. Because I do have a lot of people that are just asking me how to get started in open source. So I think that's a good place for them to start.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. Mhm. I think there is a question from Precious. Any like, can you talk about the problem chaos is solving?
Okay, like I said previously, um, for an open source project to thrive and succeed perfectly, it needs an open source community behind it. And chaos is in the chaos community, we create matrices, we create matrices that helps us to know a healthy open source community and then helps us to improve on an unhealthy open source community. So one of the problems the chaos community solve is to help improve unhealthy open source community. And also we have different initiatives that function in the space of improving unhealthy open source community. Like I talked about the badging initiative. Badging is run on a peer-to-peer review system. So if you put in your events, your open source event, and it is badged, and you see that there are some criteria that your event does not meet, so you can use the metrics to solve those hitches that you faced the first time. So when next you're creating doing an event, you are going to do a smooth and a seamless event using the chaos metrics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe just adding in a pinch to what Omar has said, Precious, is if you want to look at maybe from a contributor standpoint, right? She has talked about like how chaos helps organizations, companies, and even communities. Then, if you want to look at maybe from a contributor standpoint, you look at so as a contributor, you might want to know where to focus, where you can focus your contributions, or you want to know assess the health of an open source community before maybe you contribute. Or you want to know where you can do better, right? So the metrics that we create also help contributors know where they can improve, know where they can help out in an open source project. So maybe looking at it from that contributor standpoint. And then for the software aspect, the software that Omar shared, Ogre and Grimoire Lab, they help open source communities kind of look at the impact that their project has on the community, right? So this software work in a way that you can plug in your, say for example you have a project, an open source project, you can, and a community behind that project, that you want to see how maybe your contributors are contributing, if newcomers are coming into the project, if people are leaving the project, or you want to see how active your community is. So once you run an instance of your project on our software, you get to see this in a kind of like a pretty dashboard. Like it gives you better analytics or seeing people that are leaving, people that are coming in, a lot of metrics that you can measure, and then maybe you can make decisions and improve on your software. So those are kind of like the problems that we try to solve. And lastly, for the African chapter, we are also trying to bring together open source communities in Africa and help them measure health and help them improve their work. So that's something the African chapter is focused on. I'm supporting Oma a lot in this because, like I said, it's my favorite project. So. Yeah. Let me see if we have another question. I don't think we have another question. But I think you shared the, maybe I think someone said you should check your DM after this session. I think I saw a comment like that. Maybe after the session you can also check your DM. Don't think we have any other questions. I'm rushing so much because we have Kahoot games today. We haven't played Kahoot games in a long time, Martin.
Yeah, it's been a long, long while.
Yeah. So
I hope people paid attention to all the presentation because
yeah, all the things that
we're gonna
Oma
test
says.
we're gonna test your knowledge now. So you better you better win.
So I think the next thing we are doing is the networking and game session. Andrea, are you is our link ready? Is Andrea still here?
Let me see. She
Maybe
should.
Andrea is getting she's getting the links ready.
Yeah. So Ruth, how's your new gig going at
Uh,
your company?
it's been really great, and something I might even want to share here as well is, as you're contributing to open source, make it public, share what you're doing, because I think my new job came as a result of people seeing the impact in
Mm-hmm.
the community. So my company Biteja is one of the open source projects that Oma shared, Grimoire Lab, was one of the projects that co-founded Chaos, sort of. So they donated in 2017 when Chaos started. They donated the Grimoire Lab project to Chaos. So my manager saw the work I was doing with the Chaos Africa community and just reached out to me and was like, "Okay, would you love to work with us?" And that was literally how the job came in. So yeah, it's been going pretty great, and I'm enjoying working there. So look forward to the amazing things I'll do there.
Nice. Yeah, that's the beauty of learning about open source and all of this. Like that's how I got into GitHub. I learned about open source, learned about GitHub, and the rest is history. So there's so much you can gain.
Yeah, Oma, I don't know if you could share your slide links. So we have one more question. Could you wrap a basic flow of someone interested in contributing? So what should they do? Clifford is interested in contributing to chaos.
So when I share my slide, you see I added the link to our Slack community. First thing you have to do is to join our Slack community to gain the basic ground of what we do and look for a working group to join. Then the next thing, like I said, look for a working group to join or uh, a section to join. If you want to join the technical writers working group in the Chaos Africa community, you join the Chaos Africa community and you join the working group, the technical writers working group. So first thing you do is join our Slack community or our discourse community. We just had started the discourse, so I really don't remember that. Or you join our discourse community or the Slack community first. And also you can go to our website to know more about the Chaos project and how you can contribute to it. I am going to share my slides, and this slide has the links to most of this starting point.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Omar, for sharing this awesome insights. And I know people really enjoyed the session, and would definitely love to see a lot of you contributing to the Chaos project. So please definitely join. So I think we are getting ready for the Kahoot game. So you can see the game pin. So just go to kahoot.it and put in the game pin, and then we get started.
I think we have up to 9 people now, so I think we should be good to go. All right, question number one. Have you joined the meetup group? Or how do you join the meetup group? Okay, I didn't catch that on time, but let's go again. Okay. Argo is a Python library and web service for open source software and sustainability metrics and data. True or false? I think this is one of the CHAOSS project initiative. So let's see.
I had to step out for a minute. Someone was at my door. Now I've missed all the questions.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely gonna win this one,
Ah,
Ruth.
so sad.
Okay. Next question. True or false? GitHub Copilot is now available for enterprise. True or false? Remember, I talked about this, so you guys better not miss this one.
Yeah. Martin spent like 2 minutes talking about it. So, who is polite things?
Application for GitHub Expert close on which dates?
Dates are so hard.
Oh man,
Remember.
yeah, it's always hard. I can't even remember the date. Wait, Ruth, you didn't share the date. You just talked about
Yeah, I
it.
just said it, but Andrea shared the link, so I think that's why.
Oh, okay. Oh, I actually got it.
Oh wow, that's very close. Martins, what's your own username?
Friendly dingo. I'm like on the last.
How are you on the last? It can never be me. I joined, that would have been tops. Really.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to be the last so that somebody else wins. You know.
I know that trick. Don't worry. I know that trick. Let's see. Wow. Polite Swings has just been up there. No moving.
Who's that person?
Yeah.
I think I stand for.
This is so simple. Like
Yeah, this
everybody should get it.
everyone should get this one. Come on.
So simple. I need to know where Andrea gets all these gifts from.
Yeah, Andrew's
Oh,
pretty good.
they're so cool.
So question number 6 or 7. True or false? You have to pay to join the Chaos project. Interesting. But everyone should get this one as well.
Yeah. I think anybody that doesn't get it should just send money to me.
Exactly.
Okay. That person should send that money to me.
Yeah, just one of 9. At least now everyone knows that it's free to join the Chaos project. And I'll be sending some people your way as well.
People.
True or false? The Chaos project is a Linux Foundation project.
Yeah, you have to send me these gifts. I need to use them a lot. So cool.
What? Are you serious?
You're the one that failed it. Oh,
Well, at least I give more people chances to win the prize.
Oh, that's nice.
Awesome.
so who is our winner? Silver Jaguar, Card, Hero Octopus, and Polite Sphinx. Yay.
Which polite swings actually? Is that you?
No, it's not me.
Oh, okay. Are you, Ruth? Are you among the top three?
Ah, I didn't play, so if I played, I would have been top. So
Okay, awesome. I think Andrea is gonna paste in the chat how to get your awards or gifts. I think okay. Yeah,
yeah.
just DM
Wait, which polite things? Oh, Rashid. Rashid, are you the one? Congrats. Congratulations. Please send Andrea a DM, like a screenshot of you being polite swings, and send Andrea a DM at ALA Colombia on Twitter. Thank you everybody for joining our interactive session and learning more about chaos. I think there was one more question I needed to answer. Somebody asked about if the chaos project is about health, as in science, doctor, nurses. No, no, it's not. It's more about community health, like community activity, how you care for your community members, how you care for your projects, the code, risks, compliance issues, legal issues, all those things all together. So that's the health you're talking about, and not like health as in body health.
So
So thank
basically, if there is a community online, Chaos Project helps you to like check if that community is healthy and
yes.
functioning properly, and then you can see all the
Yeah.
metrics. Awesome.
Yeah, cool. So thank you everybody for joining, and we definitely love more speakers from Africa too. So if you are interested in giving a talk at GitHub Africa, please definitely can send me a message on Twitter at Kega Ruth. Or I think that we have like a link where you can fill in your topic. If you're not sure what you can talk about, you can always shoot me a DM at Kega Ruth, and definitely I would love to help you decide what you want to talk about. I want to highlight more speakers from Africa, different countries in Africa. So definitely would love to host you on this platform someday, and talk about what you love doing or what your project you're currently building. So thank you. Yeah, this is where Andrea gets all the. This is so cool, and this is owned by GitHub. This is so cool. I'll definitely check more. Um, so thank you everybody for joining. Thank you, Oma, for gracing us today and sharing more about the Chaos Project. And thank you, Martin, my co-host.
Thank you.
So
Thank you,
see
Ruth,
you
as well.
all next
Thank
month.
you.
Yeah, I'll see you
Thank
guys
you.
next month. Have a wonderful rest of your day or evening,
Bye.
wherever you
Bye.
are. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.